Imagine walking through a forest and stumbling upon a tree that bleeds oil, not sap, not resin, but a thick, dark liquid that can be poured straight into an engine. It sounds like science fiction, but for decades scientists and researchers have studied trees capable of producing hydrocarbon-rich oils, strikingly similar to petroleum. Among the most famous is the so-called diesel tree, a rare and fascinating plant that has sparked curiosity, controversy, and even conspiracy theories. So what exactly is this tree, and why do some claim it was banned? The tree often associated with this phenomenon is known as Copifera langsdorffii, commonly found in South America. Locals have long harvested its oil by tapping the trunk, much like maple syrup extraction. The liquid that flows out is not your typical plant oil. It's remarkably similar to diesel fuel in composition. This oil, sometimes called copaiba oil, has been used traditionally for medicinal purposes. However, what caught global attention was its ability to burn efficiently in engines with little to no refinement. Early experiments showed that in some cases, the oil could be used directly in diesel engines. Naturally, this discovery raised a big question. Could this tree be a renewable, eco-friendly alternative to fossil fuels? Here's where reality steps in. While the oil from such trees is indeed combustible and hydrocarbon-rich, it is not a perfect substitute for refined motor oil or commercial diesel. Modern engines are highly sensitive and require specific viscosity, purity, and chemical stability. Raw plant oil can cause long-term engine damage if used without processing. Additionally, the yield from a single tree is relatively low. Even under optimal conditions, a tree might produce a few liters of oil per season. Scaling this up to meet global fuel demands would require vast plantations, which introduces environmental concerns like deforestation and biodiversity loss. So while the concept is real, the idea that this tree could instantly replace petroleum is more myth than fact. So, this is where the story becomes more dramatic, and honestly, often pretty misleading. There is no verified evidence that governments around the world have outright banned this tree or its oil. However, regulations do exist regarding fuel standards, environmental protection, and land use. These rules can make it difficult to commercialize alternative fuels without proper testing and approval. In some regions, restrictions may apply to prevent overharvesting or ecological damage. Trees, like Copifera, play important roles in their ecosystems, and uncontrolled extraction could really harm forests. The idea of a ban likely stems from frustration or misunderstanding. When promising natural solutions face regulatory hurdles, it can appear as if they're being suppressed. Another factor fueling the narrative is economics. The global oil industry is, honestly, one of the largest and most powerful sectors in the world. Introducing a disruptive alternative, even a small one, can face resistance due to things like infrastructure, investment, and market stability. However, it's important to separate speculation from reality. While industries do of course protect their interests, there's no concrete proof of a coordinated effort to suppress oil-producing trees. In fact, research into biofuels, including plant-based oils, is actively ongoing worldwide. The diesel tree is part of a broader category known as biofuel sources. Other examples include algae, palm oil, and jatropha plants. These alternatives aim to reduce dependence on fossil fuels and lower carbon emissions. But, each comes with trade-offs. Large-scale cultivation can compete with food production, consume water resources, and impact ecosystems. The challenge is finding a balance between innovation and sustainability. The oil-producing tree represents an exciting possibility, but not a silver bullet. Simple, it taps into a powerful narrative, a natural solution hidden in plain sight, a miracle resource that could change the world, a suggestion of suppression by powerful forces. These elements make for compelling storytelling, especially in the age of viral content. But the truth is more nuanced. The tree exists, the oil is real, the potential is promising, but limited, and the idea of a global ban, that's largely a myth built on misinterpretation and speculation. The idea of a tree producing motor oil is undeniably fascinating. It challenges our assumptions about nature and technology, and it opens the door to new possibilities in renewable energy. However, turning that possibility into a practical solution requires science, scale, and careful consideration, not just excitement. Rather than asking why it was banned, a better question might be, how can we responsibly explore and develop such natural innovations for the future? Because sometimes, the truth is even more interesting than the myth.